Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. A few hours ago, Sven from Larian Studios and the boys from Dropped Frames had a really nice interview, and I got a chance to watch it. I'll link it down below if you want to see the longer version. But he answered a bunch of questions about release day and what we can expect and what we cannot expect to have in our game. So I'm going to go and get into it right now. We're going to make it brief. As far as release time goes, it's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 10 a.m. on Pacific Time, depending on where you're at in the U.S. As far as being able to preload the game, you're not going to be able to preload the game. He said we will see, but that's going to mean no. You're going to have to reload the game completely because your early access version is not going to be good enough. You're going to have to re-download the game, and it's 100 and something gigabytes. So if you know anything about Steam, you know they always have issues. As a matter of fact, they specifically asked Larian to move their time to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so they could have all hands on deck. Now, expect there's going to be a delay on your download. I personally have my game from GOG Galaxy, so that's where I'm going to be downloading mine from. You can port your game from Steam to GOG. You might have an easier time of it, something to look into if you want to. You have plenty of time to do that. Or if not, you know what? Just expect you're going to have a little bit of delay because it is Steam. And on big releases, they always have an issue. As far as character creation goes, it's going to be tied to class, obviously. Your points, your ability scores are going to be tied to your class. So let's say you're a barbarian. Most of your points are going to be strength, dexterity, constitution. If you're, say, if you're a cleric, well, then most of your ability scores, your highest ability scores are going to be in wisdom. If you're a warlock, it's going to be charisma. You're going to have 2 extra points to put into one skill, and you're going to have an additional point to put into a secondary skill. And I'm sure you're going to be able to subtract if you want, so that you can get, if you have a fighter, you want to have a dexterity fighter versus a strength fighter, you're going to be able to adjust that as well. And you will be able to respec your character at any time during your playthrough. He did confirm that. And also with the origin characters, you're going to be able to respec them completely as well. So I suspected they were going to make you keep their character class, like with Lae'zel. I thought you were going to have to keep her fighter class because that was what she originally had. But he said that there's 2 characters who are going to have their subclasses picked when you find them, but you're going to be able to respec them as well. So like Shadowheart and Will, because though Shadowheart was a cleric and Will is a warlock, they get their subclasses immediately at level 1. So they're going to have their subclasses picked at level 1 when you find them, whenever you bring them into your camp, but you will be able to respec them completely. So really, if you want a whole party of druids or a whole party of paladins or a whole party of clerics, you can, which is an interesting choice. However, the cutscenes will always be as to their classes that they had at the beginning of the game. So for all you edgelords out there that want to make a Gloomstalker, Ranger, Assassin, Rogue, Battlemaster, Fighter group, and you want to go in there and be all sneaky and just be super ultra powerful, you can do that. You can absolutely do that. That's not going to be an issue. But when it comes to Shadowheart, coming across somebody that she has to talk to about Shar, you're going to get that cutscene, and it won't be a Gloomstalker cutscene. Although when it comes to your builds, if you have that as your class or your subclass, you're going to have that option in your dialogue. So you're going to be able to make that choice. So if you have a Gloomstalker, Ranger, Rogue, Assassin, Battlemaster, Fighter build, you'll have all of those dialogue options available to you in the storyline. It's weird, I know. It'll make for some interesting playthroughs. That's all I can say about that. Tell me what you think in the comment section about that. Sven did say that there will be no ready action or dodge action in the game. I don't know why they didn't put it in, but they decided not to put it in. So there you go. There's that. And as far as your long rests go with your camp, they will be dependent on how much food you have, your supplies. And for the most part, you will be able to take long rests whenever you need to, with the exception of there being some places in the game where it just doesn't make sense in the game. Like you're in a severe enemy territory, but on the map, it will give you a red portion of the map where it shows you cannot take a long rest. So you will be able to take a long rest for the most part whenever you want to, so long as you have the supplies to do so. but there will be a couple of places in the game he said that they just didn't make sense for them to allow it. But for the most part, because people hated not being able to take long rests, they allowed more than they probably would have originally, because when they play tested it, people were like, we don't like this. So, you know, I mean, you're going to be able to take your long rests as much as you probably are going to want to. 90% of the time. As far as conversations go, whoever implements it will be the one that goes through it. Like if, let's say, you're clicked on Asterion or you're clicked on Gale, whoever you're clicked on at the time, if they get into a conversation, they're the ones that are going to have to go through the conversation. But let's say Shadowheart has guidance, and she will be able to use that spell to help you with your performance check whenever you roll to see whether you succeed in your whatever you would decide to do, whether it's intimidation, persuasion, or deception, or whatever it takes, whatever you're trying to do in the conversation. Your other party members can help you out there. Sven did say that your class and your race will make a huge difference on the conversations that you're going to get as well. He said for all you completionists out there that are wanting to be able to get all the conversations in one playthrough, you're not going to be able to do it. There's too many iterations. So, and depending on who you are and what you are, that's going to dictate how the environment evolves around you. And so the replayability of this game is supposed to be just immense. However, there's only so many interactions or so many battles that are going to be in the game. So I don't know really how much that's actually going to play into replayability. Although if you want to see all the cutscenes, you're going to have to go through many, many different iterations of this game before you're going to be able to complete it. Steam Deck will not be ready upon release, by the way. He said shortly after release it will be ready, but on the day of release it will not be ready. So they're working on it, and it is coming in the near future. So don't worry, you Steam Deck users. You will be able to use your Steam Deck, but just not at the moment. Twitch integration is a thing, so you're going to be able to have your, if you are a Twitch streamer, you're going to be able to have your audience pick vote on the dialogue options that they want you to pick. So you're going to be able to do that, and also they're going to be able to mouse over your characters and see what kind of weapons, what kind of armor and items that you have on your person at the time. So and there's more things coming, I think, with the Twitch integration. So look forward to that if you are a streamer. Also, modding will be supported later on down the road. But if you are a dungeon master and you are looking to create your own dungeons and your own adventures in this game, that is not going to be an option at the beginning. They're not going to have any dungeon master tools available to us. However, if there's an amazing modder out there, they might be able to come up with something. I'd be excited to see what's going to happen in the future with the mods in this game. I'm sure we're going to have some amazing mods come out, and I will be covering those in the future, just depending on what comes out and what I find interesting. And one of the burning questions that was asked on Reddit was, will we be able to talk with Boo? If you don't know who Boo is the mini giant space hamster who is the companion to Minsk, who is a raging ranger in Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2, who is now being voiced by Matthew Mercer, the Dungeon Master of Critical Role. Anyway, Boo, people want to know, well, if we can speak with animals or we can shapeshift and talk with animals, can we talk with Boo? And Sven said, the mystery of Boo will be the mystery of Boo, and you'll have to wait and see because we wanted to leave it a mystery until release. So he didn't give that spoiler away, but I'm excited to hear Matthew Mercer's rendition of Minsk, because his voice acting is exemplary as always. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it. That's all I wanted to cover, and hopefully this answered some questions for you. Hopefully it gave you some insight on the release day and what you can expect. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section down below. As I always say, I am my usual me, you be your usual you, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.